Hey guys, welcome back to another Illustrator tutorial with John from Creative Tap. Now in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to create a flat vector cartoon of your favourite character. So I've chosen for this one, if I turn all these layers off, I've chosen Diddy Kong, so I've got this detailed image just off the interweb. You can base this on a sketch that you do, or if you want to recreate one of your favourite characters, you can do that. Now the approach I'm going for today is just a very kind of flat basic one with an outline. I will be doing future tutorials where I'm using the brush tool to get more detail in there, but that'll be coming soon. I just want to start off with this kind of basic kind of look. So this is what we start with down here, and this is what we're going to be ending with, just maybe if you want to do some fan art. Or what I get my students to do is when I teach them the pen tool, the next lesson they do is they pick their favourite character and practice using the pen tool, tracing their favourite character. So if you are new to using the pen tool, this would be a good one to go for. But let's dive on in. So what you're going to do is File, New, and I think I'm just going to go for an A4. Cool. So there you go, mine's landscape. Doesn't matter. What you want to do is drag an image in. This could be again a sketch of your own or your favourite character from whatever. So I'm going to drag this in. There he is. Just going to scale him down. So get my selection tool, scale him down like this. I'm holding shift to make sure that I get all the proportions right. So it's not like skewed like that. Then I'm just going to rename this to BG. So that's my background, and I'm going to lock it. Now in this tutorial I am going to kind of skip through. I'm going to show you one or two steps, but because it'll take a while to kind of do the whole thing, I'm not going to have it constant for the whole tutorial because I don't want it to be too long. Now what I'll normally do is separate it into parts. So obviously I've got his tail, arm, hands, leg, hands, sort of belly, his face, and then these sort of beige kind of skin tones on the outside. So what I'm going to do his head first, but when I'm drawing it, what a lot of people do is they'll kind of get the pen tool and they'll go around the eyes like this, and then around here, and then up here, and then back. That's probably the wrong way to do it. I'm going to go quite vague and wide on it, because these sort of skin tone parts and his hat we're going to actually be put on top. Okay, so let me illustrate this. I'm going to go in and let's change this to no fill just for now, and just an outline. So I'm going to come in and sort of just get this curvature around here, but then sort of go around quite loosely, come down to here so we get this, come around like so. Again, this is quite loose, but we've got the edge of his head here, so I am going to go neatly around here, click and drag, and I'm going to come back across. And there we go. What I'm going to do is now give this a fill, sort of a nice sort of, let me use a colour picker actually, nice sort of brown colour like so, with no fill. Okay, and I'm going to rename this so it says head. Now you may be thinking that's pretty rough, you haven't even gone to the lines, but just think I'm going to be putting the eyes on top, this ear on top, and the mouth. So let me illustrate that. I'm going to go lock that. You don't have to go to a new layer, but I like to separate all mine out. I'm going to turn this head layer off now, so it's nice that I've got it on a new layer because I can turn that off. I'm going to get this mouth shape in, I think. So again, on this new layer, start clicking like so, and I'm going to go neatly on this one. Start coming around. I'm going to turn that fill off so I can see what I'm doing. Come around like so, zoom in, just go a bit neater around there. Okay, just come in by here, go around, and let's zoom out now. I'm going to start coming down and coming around here, coming up to about here, and then I'm going to finish off with that curve. Now what I'm going to do is hit I and select a sort of mid-tone just by there. There we go. Now when I turn this head back on, so let's rename this to mouth and lock it, you can see now that the rough edges were there, is taken care of because we've got this head on top. And by here you'll have his t-shirt on top of there, and you'll have his eyes on top and his hat. So I'm simply going to crack on. Actually, on the mouth, what I want to do is I want this sort of line drawn in there. So in order to be able to see that line, I've got it unlocked. I'm going to select this shape, and I could turn the opacity of the shape down, but I'm just going to turn it to no fill for now. We've still got that shape there though. And then on this layer, what I'm going to do is come in with my pen, click there, just draw a line, click there, and click round here. Okay, that's not perfect. I'm going to hit enter, so that's my line done. I'm going to come back with my direct selection tool, bring this down just a little bit down here, alter this handle, and alt click that one, and there you go, that's matching up better now. Now for this one, I'm just going to give it a sort of darkish line like so, and there you go. What I'm going to do now is reselect this shape, hit I, and give it that colour. Now what I'm going to do is come back to this line and move this point all the way up to the end. There you go, and I've got that kind of line in there. So what I'm going to do next, lock that, new layer, turn this off, and I'm going to draw the eyes. So start from down here, come around like so, come down to there, hold Alt to put this handle pointing back up, go up like that, and then down and round, and I'm going to come across the bottom by here. So I'm going to get my eyedropper tool. Where's it gone? There we go, and just get a white from there. So that may be slightly off white, which is kind of good. And then turn my head back on, and all of a sudden, look, we've got this issue. The eyes are on top of the mouth. So all I'm going to do is just rename layer 4 to eyes, move them below, and there we go. So that's what we've kind of got so far. Next, I think I'll do the hat, and you kind of see where this is going now. So turn the head off, and I'm going to break the hat into two parts because there's two shades. So put this here, get my pen tool, and once I've done the top half, I don't want to leave it there, but I may kind of skip through the next half of it, because otherwise it's basically the same thing repeated, and I don't want to kind of make the video unnecessarily long while I do the whole of Diddy Kong. So I'm going to bring this handle back round, sort of bring it back, and turn the fill off so we can see what's going on. Come back down, and you can see we're not going to be getting a lot of the highlights and the shadows in there, because this is going to be a very kind of flat version. But sometimes that may be the style you're going for, and especially if you're just learning how to use a pen tool, this is a good exercise just to kind of learn how things work. So let's reposition this a little bit, pull that out, there we go, something like that. Get my eyedropper tool, select that red, great, close this in, lock that, new layer, but put it beneath, and let's go pen tool, starting from about here, coming round, and coming around there, Alt to pull that handle out, come up here, and round just to here. And I can go back and modify that bit later. Let's turn the filter off for now. I'm just going to come around just inside here, like so, and get my eyedropper tool by hitting I, and let's select that colour. So I just want to modify this path actually, and let's get this point, pull it in, Okay, something like that's going to be fine. Turn the head back on. So, all we've got left now for the top is to rename this. So, hat top, because that's the top of the hat. Hat bottom. Actually, on the eyes, I want to give these little black pupils. So, if I just go back on the eye layer, I can kind of more or less guess where they are. So, let's get black. Like so. Click OK. And unlock the layer. And now we're going to draw some pupils. So what I'm going to do excuse me, is select the shape, go to Window and Appearance, and if you go down to the opacity, I'm going to turn the opacity of that shape down so I can kind of see where the pupils are. And oh, I can't, I've got to turn the head off. There we go. So now I can kind of bring this in and match it up. So I can turn the opacity of this down, but I'm just going to scale it down. I'm going to move it to the center like that. Yeah, and I know I can scale that up a bit now. So if I get this shape, scale it up, and then move it. There we go, that's more or less in place. Cool. Okay, so all we need to do is repeat that for the other side. So Control C, Control V, and squeeze it up, rotate it a touch, and just move it back. Okay, so all we need to do now is go back to select the whites of the eyes, go back to Window, Appearance, Opacity, turn that up, and then turn the head back on. And all we've got left to do for this is the ear. So I'm going to put this above the head, turn the head off, and also turn the hat stuff off, because the ear is on top, sorry. So let's go in, let's turn the mouth off as well, just so I can see. Yeah, that's fine. So click, and click up here, come around to about by here, and click in, click there, and let's zoom in. So you want to kind of come around, and we'll go across. Okay, for this I'm going to hit I and just select the same colour as his mouth, because that's what colour it is. And let's turn everything back on and see what we're working with. So we want this ear above the hat, don't we? Because it pokes out, yeah. So if we now lock all of these and turn them off, we should have, yes, something very, very similar. Okay, you can go ahead and do on the eyes, you can put a little kind of white circle in there. So if I change this to a white, just so we got that reflection, if I get a little white circle like so, we can click and drag this, maybe click and drag this to the blacks of his eye, so we get that little reflection dot. If you want it, but up to you. Yeah, I think I quite like that. So let's make that smaller. Move it into place. Control C, Control V. Let's copy this across to the other one and squeeze it a bit. Or does it look like that in his? Yeah, kind of. Okay. Oh, I've lost it now. There we are. Okay. So if I zoom back out, turn them all off. Very similar to what we've got. So essentially, what you're going to want to do, I may even just kind of leave it there, because if I recreate the whole of this, which I've already got in here, it's just going to take too long. What I will do actually is I'll show you how to do the outline. So let's go ahead and assume I've redone the whole kind of Diddy Kong, and we've got all of these layers. So let me just break this down for you. We've got left hand, layer 24, which I haven't named, and I haven't named that because I don't think there's anything on there. So let's bin that. I've got right foot, right hand, left foot, his stomach at the bottom, tail, each leg, arm, his t-shirt piece. So you can see that kind of, if we zoom in here, when I turn it off, his leg actually comes in a little bit too far, but don't worry because his stomach's on top of it. Then we've got these stars, so I'll show you how I made the stars. Basically, let's turn that back on. I recreated the shape, so let's create a new layer, put it up here. I went round stars like so, and let's just turn the fill off. Went around the stars. I'm going to do mine quite roughly, but just in case you are using this image, I'll show you how to do it. So got it like that. Went round. I'm going to do mine rough, so please forgive them. Come round. Loads of clicking. This is a good way if you're new to the pen tool to kind of practice using it. And I'll go like that. Okay. What I did then is got my eyedropper tool, selected the color, and in order to get the sort of red bit inside, if you Control C and then Control F, all that'll do is paste another version exactly on top. I then scaled this down, holding my Shift key, and kind of moved it inside, just kind of like so. Scale it down a bit more, something like that. And then I selected a red color. Now I would have probably gone in and moved some of these points over individually, maybe these points in just a little bit, these ones out, just so it kind of looks as if it's got the same thickness all the way around, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. Then what I did to get the inside gold one again, Control C, Control F, so it's another one exactly on top, scale it down and put this inside and change it back to this color. Okay, so I've basically got 3 stars on top of each other. So that's how I did the stars bit, but let's turn my other one back on. And the t-shirt. Then I've got the backpack arm, the backpack, the arm, then hat and all that stuff up here. So once you've got to this point, you've got all of this together. What you're going to want to do to get that outline is as follows. So I'm going to all of these. I'm going to copy, highlight everything, hit Control C, like so, or Command. I'm going to lock all of these layers, create a new layer, and hit Control or Command F, and all that's done is copied everything onto one new layer and put it exactly on top. Okay, so when I've got that selected, I'm going to go to Window, and where is it, Pathfinder, and see where it says Merge. I'm going to merge these all into one shape. No, sorry, it's Unite. Unite them all into one shape, so it's this one by here. So all we've got, all these shapes have just created one shape on top. Okay, so move that back. All you want to do then, no fill, and give it a black outline, and then wherever the width is of the stroke, you can give it a thicker outline like so. So yeah, pretty simple. I just copied everything to copied all these shapes onto one layer, selected them all, went to Pathfinder, then Unite, not Merge, sorry, Unite, and got rid of the fill and just gave them a stroke. Okay, so I know I went through things pretty quickly and I didn't create the whole of him, but you can see that it's just going through. I would probably do his arm, kind of just quite roughly, you know, not that rough, but what I'm saying is don't worry if you've come over a little bit by here, because his t-shirt will go on top. So just think about how you layer in things, and then excuse me, you should be alright. So you can do this with any character, you can do this with a sketch, you can do this with a photo of someone, but in a future tutorial what I'll be showing you is how to take something like this with a different approach. We'll be using the brush tool and we'll be adding shading and some fine details in there as well. But hopefully this will, you know, aid you to, you know, do some cool creations. But cheers for tuning in, and I will see you in another tutorial. Make sure to check out the rest of our Illustrator, After Effects, Maya and Photoshop tutorials. Give us a subscribe and a like, and hope to see you again soon. Cheers, bye.